Hey guys, and welcome back to the final part of Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows. We ain't rescuing no maidens here, it's all about achieving the ultimate power, the superb elixir that we are hunting for. So let's go get the essence of the Enchantress.
I have a slight feeling, and this is my theory, I have a theory she's not exactly gonna part with it lightly, just a thought, but I imagine a little bit of difficulty along the way.
Can you imagine if she did? Like in an early version of Plague of Shadows, before they hammered out all the kinks, you know, fine-tuned all the correct details. The final boss was just a conversation. It was like a text adventure game.
Don't you hate that, though, in video games, where it's like, you know, you spend the whole game, you're fighting through stuff, and you're taking on these challenges, and then the final boss is just, like, nothing? I mean, yes, I know, and I'm part of me is criticizing the Mass Effect 3 decision to not have a final boss.
Yeah.
But it kind of applies in general, because there are other games that have done this, where they feel like, you know, oh, it feels too much like a video game. I'm like, why the fuck not? Because you have to remember, when you're telling a story, that's an idealized version of reality anyway. So why not have a story where you fight a fucking dude at the end and it's fucking awesome, you know what I'm saying?
You can have, like, good stories that end video gamey. You can have video games that end kind of like straight-laced, but since I'm playing a video game, I want it like Metal Gear Rising, where I punch a US senator in the face!
That's probably best. You know, I'm trying not to get too off topic for the Tower of Fate, but I do kind of want to know your favorite final boss of all time, I have to admit.
Ooh, there's a bunch of them. Do you want me to give you, like, top 5?
Sure, yeah.
These are in, like, no particular order. I guess, like, the first one that comes to mind is Super Baby Bowser from Yoshi's Island.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that, and, you know, going back and having seen, like, that actual fight, like, I can definitely see why it's a lot of people's favorites. It's good, you know, tension-building stuff.
Yeah, good atmosphere, great music, fun change of gameplay, you know, throwing eggs into the horizon instead of just, you know, left, right, up, diagonal, left, up, diagonal, right, and so on and so forth. Senator Armstrong, Metal Gear Rising. Just a really fun fight, and it's an overused word, but it's just hype as all hell, really.
From what I've seen, yeah, definitely. I'll have to go back and actually kind of play that game one of these days.
You haven't played it in a while?
I haven't played it at all, yeah. I'll look for a cheap copy and probably get it down the line.
Huh, okay. Well, that's certainly not the time here from Silent Generations, that's for sure. Man, there's so many final bosses that are coming to mind now, it's hard to pick just 5 off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, you think about it for a little bit, and, I'd have to say, like, my favorite final boss ever, I think, is the final boss of Okami. Because the build-up and atmosphere and setting to that is just fantastic. The whole game was building up to this moment so well done, and then this fucking awesome final boss makes you feel like a goddess of the sun, and you really are vanquishing evil. It's just the best shit ever. Even though the final boss was easy, if they play it right, if they tell the story correctly, but let you play it out, that's fine enough for me, in all honesty.
That's the thing, a final boss can be easy, so long as it's fun and not tedious, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you just really have to nail it on that account, and I think, you know, you have a lot of success there. And also, I really like doing the Lavos fight in a Chrono Trigger, even though Lavos isn't really, like, you know, story-wise, a great final boss in terms of the plot, but I just like the fight itself and, you know, all the implications that occur as a result. Okay,
we've got to mention this shit here. Artistically, fantastic. Gameplay-wise, quite interesting. It just looks gorgeous, it plays gorgeous. Apparently I'm going for IGN now. I talk about things in terms of aesthetics, mostly.
Well, did you mention the water? Because that's very important. There's a lot of water in this segment of the game.
You are such a fucklord, you know that?
But, you know, as a whole, I'd have to say, I have the same amount of difficulty with the Tower of Fate as Plague Knight, as I do with Shovel Knight. Really, the main challenge is just not getting crushed by the stuff and avoiding the pits, and that's really going to be challenging for both of them. I seem to struggle just as much on the crushy sections, you know, as I did with Shovel Knight. You get through that point, and it's otherwise not too bad. There is one particular section coming up that was an absolute pain in the ass.
Is that the second stage of the Tower of Fate?
That may be. I don't remember where exactly it occurs, but it's definitely a challenge worthy of the final level of the game, you know?
Ah, challenge worthy of the THD. I've heard legends of such feats.
Well, a challenge worthy of me is something easily that I can beat in like one try.
Yeah, like Tetris Attack on normal.
I don't know, I used to suck at Tetris Attack.
I kind of want to do a Let's Play of Tetris Attack's Adventure Mode. I have such a soft spot for it. Hey, you're kind of flashing over there. Black Knight, you feeling okay?
My phone is just going off a little too much.
I have vibrate set to the maximum setting right now.
Apparently, phones emit like miniature amounts of radiation, so that's basically what's happening.
Yeah, they hadn't, again, fine-tuned phones back in ye old times.
I love the way Incorruptible just kind of twiddles back there.
He values his honor, you know? I never noticed that set of stairs before.
Yeah, neither did I. You usually go through the door afterwards.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I have just as much trouble with Black Knight, you know, Phase 3 as I did in Shovel Knight's campaign, so I apologize. This is gonna be a clusterfuck.
You know, like usual, the man is just jumping absolutely everywhere, and it can be a pain in the ass to land bombs precisely, especially if you're using bombs that don't have a huge area of effect, like the Sparkler or the Cluster Powder, which I really would recommend for this fight, just for the fact that it's easier to hit the guy. For me, I mostly relied on him being on the ground, and I love to spam the hell out of Leech Liquid as usual. You really do kind of have to play the long game here. When you're dealing with him as Plague Knight. You definitely want to make sure to keep your distance and try to make this a battle of attrition, basically, is my recommendation.
I recommend the Berserker's brew when he starts going hither and thither across the screen. It won't protect you completely from harm, but it will stop knockback, so you'd have to worry about being blasted back into meteorite chunks and so on.
The Berserker Brew is something I probably should have used a lot more. I died quite a bit to this guy, and you probably did, you know, outside of Takes, because he's just straight up challenging, which is good, but you know.
I feel like my biggest mistake that I made in this fight was using the float casing instead of the lob casing, because what I needed was something to just go like straight up and a little bit over in the air instead of floating up, because it was that little sequence where it starts floating where I was left most open.
It's really about experimentation and being able to do these fights over and over to kind of get an idea of the best strategy.
Because it's the only way she'll love me, damn it! Aww.
Oh yeah.
Two different opinions there of romance.
Alcohol has always been a way to a woman's heart. You just don't know anything, Black Knight.
I guess I'll leave you to lick your wounds then. See ya.
Is this before or after Shovel Knight came by?
I would hazard a guess that it's before.
Yeah, but he has his superpowers then, so it would have to be after.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, he was damage flashing at the start. It wasn't his phone at all. Oh man, I love the music for this part of the Tower of Fate. It feels so tense and dramatic.
I agree, they really went full all out at this particular point in the game. You know, as I've said before many a time, just the production value and design and, you know, execution of Shovel Knight as a whole has been simply fantastic, and, you know, it's always a pleasure to see that come into play, even though we're just technically replaying the game again from a different perspective.
Well, I think, like, all the stuff you get with Plague Knight, in addition to, you know, having a simple new narrative to play through, works in the end. It's just fresh enough to stop it from being wholly repetitive.
Yeah, I agree. You know, all the new mechanics, and again, all the new mechanics we'll be getting for the other two characters, that will make it worth revisiting the game. Hell, I know down the line I'll just want to replay it straight in it again anyway, just because it's such a damn good game, in my opinion.
Okay, we're getting into serious death territory here, guys, so be very careful making your moves forward.
I'm kind of surprised the Enchantress did not decide to blast through her castle, because let's think about this. If she was smart, she'd try to account for all of the powers that the Order of No Quarter has, and try to make sure her castle sort of can't be dismantled by it. Although, again, I don't know if she had the resources or the time to be able to do this.
Well, don't forget she also has to deal with Shovel Knight, who I believe is actually following Plague Knight at this point in time, if future events are to be believed.
He might be, I don't know. Again, really hard to kind of place this in terms of continuity, so we probably shouldn't try.
Right, you want to know a choke point for me in my initial playthrough of the game? Right here, this fucking section.
Yeah, I hate these floating fucking platforms. Fortunately, Plague Knight is better equipped to handle them, and especially if you're using the cluster powder or sparkler to kind of deal with those obstacles in a way. I kind of played it safe and sort of... No, I think I jumped through this kind of normal. I'm trying to remember. It's been a bit.
Oh, wow, you went the Daredevil route, okay.
I may have. I don't know. I definitely know that I used it, you know, that platform when I was playing at Shovel Knight, because of course he can't do this kind of stuff.
Oh man, even now I'm holding my breath. That's immersive LPs for you guys.
Yeah, that's really tightly done. If you wanted to use a platform, you could easily use the Staff of Striking to hit the platform and kind of make your way more gradually across, so it's nice to know you have options.
That's the Staff of Searching, mate. Striking is basically the Pimp Cane whip.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you can do that, and you can just hit it, and then it'll send you across.
Oh, right, the Rainbow Bridge platform thingy. You know, I never actually thought about that. I don't even think I had the Staff of Striking at the time. Just another option for you to consider, I suppose.
Now, this particular section gave me a lot of trouble, and I would imagine it probably gave you some trouble as well, just because, you know, it's obviously crushy stuff with spikes. That's always hard. I did not try to get that thing back there. I said, screw that. I'm just gonna beat the campaign, if you don't mind.
I'm not sure if we made reference to the infamous Ninja Turtles pizza box in our LP of Shovel Knight's campaign, but it's basically the same fucking thing. Some game designers sitting there laughing their ass off, you know, wondering like, oh, who's going to go for the pizza box today? Just laughing and touching himself inappropriately.
This is the part where I used all my arcanas the most extensively, especially like the, well, what the fuck was that smoke bomb called? The smoke bomb, okay. You know, the smoke bomb to get through the spikes, the fleet flask to kind of rush through some particular areas really fast, because I was trying to get ahead of the screen crunch as much as I could. Didn't always work, but I managed to make it in the end.
Man, I got so many takes, is basically what I'm trying to blurt out here. Got up to this exact point, right near the ladder, and those fuckers either knocked me back, or I accidentally blew up my platforms and fell to my death.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh well, 2 turkeys, because one's just not enough.
They gave you 3, and a potion, and 2 Mercy Cipher coins.
Cypher! It's pronounced Cypher!
Oh, maybe I should call them Scissor coins when they evolve.
Fuck you, just go to hell already.
Man, Treasure Knight, I know you're not putting that money towards the order.
Oh, okay. I guess a seat is reserved in hell for Shovel Knight.
It's a little bit unexpected, and now I really don't know when the timelines converge here.
Wow.
And that's why he's so under-equipped.
There you go, Spectre Knight says what we were all thinking. Well, Tinker Knight's strong when he stands on someone's shoulders and throws like wrenches and whatnot. That's his power.
And has a giant mech that shoots bombs and has a lance. That tends to help.
I love all the unique animations these guys got. Like, if you look carefully, Propeller Knight is just swirling a chalice around.
And Polar Knight still gives, like, 0 fucks about what's going on. He'll just do it. He doesn't care.
And apparently they can all breathe underwater.
You know, standard boss rush as usual. Treasure Knight is still really easily. I believe they, you know, still heal you as normal in between fights if you take the turkey. So, other than that, just kind of remember what you did last time. Switch Arcana and bombs as necessary, and you shouldn't have too much of a hard time with this.
It's just basically, you know, going through the motions. Some of the bosses I didn't do as smoothly as the first time around, but it doesn't really matter. I would say it's a lot more fair than any of the Mega Man kind of boss rushes, because there's very little chance that you'll miss out on the health upgrades they give you, whereas sometimes you can be locked out of getting those big yellow orbs of wonderful, wonderful health.
I do like how somehow he managed to turn the table into spikes. I guess that's Polar Knight's special ability.
Well, if you look carefully at the perspective, I think it's in front of the table.
If it's an ice guy that uses a shovel, does that technically make him ice and steel type?
Yeah. Have we talked about fucking Alola, Santra, and Sandslash yet?
That's interesting. I still want an ice steel golem, but I'm probably not gonna get it, so okay.
Yes, we have to take on both of his forms.
Still not too bad otherwise, although putting a mech on the table is gonna piss off the guy who set this up.
Yeah, where's Catering Knight? I want to know his thoughts on this whole boss rush thing.
No, he's like Dinner Knight, or I'm trying to think of a food, like an actual food term that has to do with night, like Party Night or Date Night or something like that.
Date Night, that's the best one. Gourmet Night?
Something like that, I don't know. I think I like Dinner Night the best. It's simple but effective. Also, it's easier taking on these guys again now that you have the cluster powder.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how good Sparkler would do against Tinker Knight.
It does pretty well, because even though the casing doesn't hurt, you can still hit him pretty well with the sparks, because I remember using it on him.
Man, I can't wait to play Spectre Knight's campaign. I'm jonesing, like having done this playthrough, I'm jonesing for some fresh new Shovel Knight content.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of too bad that they have to do that and King Knight, and then like the gender flip mode before we can actually remotely think about getting a Shovel Knight too.
Oh, is Shield Knight getting her time to shine?
Yeah, they're having a mode where they flip like everybody's genders or something like that, and you actually play as Shield Knight.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
If it changes enough stuff, you know, it doesn't have to go to the lengths that Plague of Shadows did, but I'm down to plan with new modes. Like in a Kirby Planet Robobot right now, I'm actually playing through, I think it's Mecha Nightmare's Revenge. It's the mode where you play as Meta Knight. You get it when you complete the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decent enough mode. Just, you know, have that little kind of variety, and all the extra side stuff that Kirby games tend to have is pretty good.
It's kind of cool, actually, because it's basically Kirby's campaign, but they took out all, like, the robot parts and basically streamlined the world, so it's more like a time attack than anything.
Yeah, but the robot part's kind of what make that game the best for me, because that was just legit fun, I think. I never got tired of that gimmick. I was always enjoying it so much.
Oh man, there's a level towards the end of the game where you can see, like, entrances that only the robot suit can get into, and, like, I was wondering, like, all throughout the stage, when am I gonna get that robot suit? And it wasn't until the end where you get it, and you turn around and you go back through the level as the robot, that the genius just smacked me across the face, and I was like, OMG, that's rad!
It was rad, yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about that game.
Give up now, Mole Knight, I will beat you!
His incredible ability to dig through wood into the table like dirt.
Oh yeah, professional dodging.
I just hope what I want to come true will come true.
Is that a reference to something?
No, you'll see if, you know, if I get my way, I'll point it out, and I'll be happy, I'll be like, haha, I predicted it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. You know I don't do well with friggin' vague and dubious statements, you know that, right?
No, this is what I'm saying. You actually fought Shovel Knight last. I did not, actually. My first run through. You can fight him as part of the randomized order, so you actually really lucked out here. Thankfully, you know, like with the last time you fought him as Shovel Knight in this area, you know, he doesn't do the pit, so he's significantly easier. Still annoying, but again, my strategy tends to help, of course.
Just quaff a bit of leech liquid, start doing some damage on him if the bombs don't kill me first.
He has that annoying tendency to bounce your bombs back when he spins his propeller, so you gotta watch out for that. Meanwhile, Shovel Knight is just kind of taking a snooze here.
Well, dude, he basically ate shit when he fell down the hole. And there we go.
Nicely done.
Alright, one more fight to go, and this one was significantly more challenging for me than the original fight. This was, oh man, this was a battle of attrition.
Oh, he's using the Orbs of Chaos. I'm so glad I turned you on to that. No, he's doing your strategy!
I missed the phase locket.
Apparently the phase locket is coming back in Spectre Knight's campaign.
Yeah, because there's actually a bit of a stinger if you watch the Where Are They Now section at the end of Plague of Shadows, so I guess we'll be talking over that, so we won't discuss it now.
Maybe I was wrong in terms of fighting Shovel Knight last. I guess I just remembered this game poorly.
Well, it may have to be that you fight Shovel Knight last, because it leads into a cutscene.
That's true, yeah, okay, I probably remembered that wrong.
So the Order of No Quarter is randomized for sure. Shovel Knight is the granddaddy of them all.
Sort of.
Well, you don't like my terminology there? Is the word daddy too terrifying and stressful?
No, you know what's a terrifying word? Uncle.
Indeed.
Look, bombs just solve all the problems. Just become Bomb Knight. It's so much better.
Ironically, I think the Staff of Striking would help me out a bit here, because he just seems to be reflecting everything else.
Yeah, it's a really neat trick how he can reflect a cluster, but there you go.
There's the disadvantage of me using the cluster powder as well, is that I only get one bomb, so I can't make use of, like, say, the component powder's fireball to damage him quite easily, to sneak in some attacks.
That's what you trade off for power.
You can swirl that pimp cane all you like, but he's got diplomatic immunity.
And the power slash.
Down here!
What I love in this version of the game, he will straight up blow off the Order of No Quarter, whereas in the original campaign, you can choose to save them, actually. Man, that's the last time I wear King Knight's armor.
I'm out this bitch.
I'll just leap off the Tower of Fate, go back to the first stage, have to do it all over again.
Bites that gusto. Okay, guys, here we go. True finale time.
You ever go to a castle shaped like your own face? It doesn't make any sense.
Once. Didn't really think it was worth the investment.
I want to see a Tom castle, that would be interesting.
People just thought it was fucking Quasimodo. What a waste of money.
Man, these kind of stages remind me when I get to the final stages as a kid in, like, you know, Sega Genesis games and things like that, and the tension is building, your heart's thumping in your chest, and you're hoping you've got enough lives to pull through.
And by God, you feel alive!
Sort of, and then I die, and then I have to do it, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this again!
Mm-hmm. Berserker's brew works a treat here, because, again, you're gonna want to not get knocked back into the lava.
Lava is indeed hot, I agree.
I've not watched Futurama Season 1 to 4 in so long.
Well, it is readily available on many sources.
We're not being sponsored to say this, we're just making up shit until we get to the boss fight.
Still think this is a really cool effect.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the lack of a background actually emphasizes the tension more.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes when you can... Seeing what you can get away with limited resources to create a particular mood is a... You know, it's kind of an art, but I always appreciate it when it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're running up to fight, like, Magus, you know, in Chrono Trigger. I really gotta get back and play that game again sometime.
I'm surprised we didn't do an LP of Chrono Trigger, honestly. Who knows, maybe down the line. Gotta change out my stuff here. We've got the quick fuse, it's all good, it's all gravy.
Gotta leap into the boss room, of course.
Of course.
I'm just waiting here till they invent TVs. I
think at this point, Shovel Knight may have beaten the Enchantress. I'm honestly not sure.
I'm not particularly sure about that, but as we've said before, really hard to place this in continuity.
Alright, get down here. This is a multi-phase boss fight, by the way, so I hope you brought plenty of tonics. OTP! OTP! OTP!
OTP! The Dancing Death Dungeon.
This is by far the hardest part of Plague Knight's series of final bosses, in my opinion, because you can literally blow up the ground beneath your feet, whereas with Shovel Knight, you would have to get reckless with your shovel drops.
It is super easy to kind of reduce the ground you have available. I don't remember falling into the pit that much on this fight, because right away I could tell, okay, I better aim my shots very decisively. But, I think you'll get a less of an area of impact effect on the ground if you use the sparkler powder, but you do definitely have to watch out. Other than that, pretty much the same as usual. She takes out the ground, she kind of does like heat-seeking flying attacks at you, she shoots a lot of fireballs, things like that. Just, you know, play defensively as usual, and there you go.
THD's pro tips, I love it.
Man, I kind of wish it was that time again where it's like, you know, you get magazines to get like tips and strategy guides and things like that. That was the best thing.
Yeah, I wanted to lose Bubba Backer.
Yeah. I'll use you in the original campaign.
Okay, I'm gonna explode now.
That's gonna cost so much money to replace.
See, no sign of Shield Knight there.
Haha, let's summon Satan! Always a great idea!
By all your powers combined, essences even, I am the ultimate brew!
No Bud Light is too powerful!
Don't drink that, I like you sober!
You don't understand, this makes me more confident and funny!
Oh! Oh, I can't control it! It's too red!
I guess this is what happens when you sort of create a portal to hell.
Especially not the brew. Especially not.
Don't touch it with bombs. I copied off of the original Cliff Notes!
God, how many essences were in that thing? Oh my god, Mona, what the fuck?
And thus begins the final boss of Plague of Shadows, which is actually a pretty cool idea given everything that Plague Knight has done up to this point, including his entire character arc.
Uh-huh. I believe this character we're fighting here is actually called the Plague of Shadows.
Yeah, it's basically sort of a manifestation of the doubts and fears that Plague Knight has had. You'll notice throughout the whole story he's kind of had problems with the Order of No Quarter, basically giving him beef and shit like that. It's basically sort of a manifestation of his low self-esteem, and you pointed this out in particular to me, where I originally thought the story was about love. It sort of is, but it's also the fact that Mona is basically trying to show Plague Knight, you know what, it's okay, there are people who actually respect you for who you are, you crazy motherfucker. And this boss is basically the physical manifestation of that. And of course, it fights very much like you would do when you're fighting Plague Knight himself, only a lot more crazy in my opinion. And it's just kind of a great backdrop and a great fight as a whole.
Luckily, I got it trapped in a pit there. And this boss and the one after it were done like at the end of a very long and tiring recording session, so they weren't as skillfully played as they could have been. One, you know, I had to re-record the credits, so I came back, did them almost flawlessly. But I digress. This is the super final boss. Do you have the name handy, Helldragon, while I explain the strategies and whatnot?
Tell him real fast. I'll try to look it up real fast.
Okay, this is where lob casing comes in handy, because the only weak spot on this abomination here is inside its mouth. So if you don't want to be like float bursting up to the skies every so often, leaving yourself open to attacks and like counter-attacks, that's the kind of casing that's going to help you in the long run.
This baby is called the Corrupted Essence.
Oh man, that's metal.
Yeah, this is a really cool fight. I really enjoyed this a whole bunch. The fight is super dramatic and, like, you know, intense, and it throws all this crazy shit. You gotta experiment with all of your stuff to make sure to hit him. It's just a fantastic fight all around.
Man, I ate so much shit on this boss during my initial run-through of the game, because I don't think I went out of my way at all to get many Arcanas, so I didn't have, like, the Berserker's Brew to, you know, stop being knocked back. I didn't have, like, I don't know, the Leech Liquid and so on. I just sat there crying about not having the phase lock in the end, really.
And basically, also at this point, it's sort of captured Mona and has this weird Mona exploding attack. I don't really get it myself, but oh well.
It has this cute little bouncing animation as well, which is great.
That's good, and then it tries to crush you with its gigantic cauldron it's sitting on. So adorable. Also, here's a fucking death laser.
Once again, you're not invincible when using the Berserker's Brew, so don't make the mistake I did once. Just like staying inside like a damage hitbox and basically dying while not being knocked back.
Now you used the lob casing. I believe I actually used the orbit casing, you know, the heat-seeking one, to try and get in close and kind of home in on its mouth. I don't really recommend that. You should definitely go with the lob casing. It has a more consistent result.
Man, talk about dramatic, having to fight your love interest, your possessed, warped love interest, to complete your campaign, and you're facing the wrong way.
Come over here, that's a little bit unfair, come on.
Okay, I'm sensing the final blow, and here it is!
Nicely done. Scream, you motherfucker! Oh, well, Mona seems relatively okay.
I was actually asleep throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, you know, just a usual day here in the kingdom.
So what are you going to use the ultimate potion on?
I'm gonna clean my toilet with it.
Really? That's what this whole campaign was about? Fucking ultimate toiletries?
It kind of looks like Lysol.
Well, we can always build a new future together.
It's okay, you know, I mean, the thing was just purified of its corruption. Definitely can't happen again.
Also, this is why the tower explodes.
Yeah, I mean, usually in Castlevania it just kind of blows up out of its own free will, but here they explain it a little.
Ah, the poor deluded fools. If we can't make them lovers naturally, we'll make them lovers via trickery.
Yes, the Plague Knight way.
I already have everything I want, baby.
Yeah, I got these cool duds. Oh, and a girlfriend, yeah, that didn't help.
So I get to blow shit up and go on a date? This is the best day ever.
Yeah, I have to admit, you know, considering all the stuff he's gone through in this game, he's scored pretty well here.
And he did it his way without compromising his morals.
Yeah, he didn't compromise his morals. At all.
That thing was an eyesore anyway. It wasn't aesthetically matching the surrounding environment.
Yo, Hollow Bastion is down! Woo!
And here we go. Where are they now?
Back in their homes, I hope.
Yes, I love it. And the king was so happy he didn't even mind his fucking crown being knocked off.
Now these two horrible creatures can play together in happiness.
Hey, the Trowpool minions have names and feelings, okay?
What are they?
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Here's the stinger I was talking about earlier, by the way.
I'm imagining you in these robes.
No! No!
I can't finish playthroughs! That's how you sound, right?
Yeah, basically. This is awfully similar to Treasure Knight's Where Are They Now sequence in Shovel Knight's campaign.
Aw, he's sad. Here's a bomb! Fucking die!
Home sweet home.
Good thing the terrible cauldron spiders are here to stay. Don't give it to Percy, you nut! And I guess they love each other now because they gotta do something, I don't know. Lots of people who haven't been blown up yet will have to fix that.
Oh yeah, I don't recall this section of the Lost City. It looks dope.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
I'm glad they could put aside their differences. I think Plague Knight and Mole Knight would make a pretty good team, business-wise.
I suppose, yeah. And I guess Shovel Knight is a wandering traveler, I guess, in this continuity.
Nope and nope. I'll take on all 4 of you motherfuckers at once.
It'll be pretty easy. I've got the phase lock-in in this continuity.
Oh, I always loved Tinker Knight's part of the medley. I see. I can tweak these babies and make them go faster than anyone's ever seen before. Oh my god, no!
You blew it, Tinker Knight. When will they make my campaign?
Never. Your sprite is too big. God damn it. Interesting potential backstory here, because I knew he had relations, not in that way of course, with Shovel Knight, but Black Knight, that's a new one.
Well, that's true. I suppose it would make sense. A fitting punishment!
He doesn't really seem to mind all that much. Ah,
Leech liquid for all.
he's doing that thing with his fingers. I'm sorry I didn't show off dancing around Mona, by the way, but he essentially does the same thing. Oh yeah, that was all me, baby. Everything's coming up, Percy.
That's a pretty good day when people don't throw rocks at you, I gotta say.
What?
Plague Knight is like, alright. I told you it was a juice bar, not alcohol.
I believe we're coming up to the credits, Mr. Man, so we want to thank you all for watching our playthrough of Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows. Will we cover the other 2 campaigns? It's tentative right now. We'll keep you posted. But I've been Ntom64.
And I've been THD.
We'll see you next time for another HellfireComms playthrough. Bye-bye for now.